What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Linzito podcast with myself, Mr. Linzito, and my co-host, AK47.
Okay, the real name is Akani, in case you have at least for me somewhere. The name is Akani. Welcome to another episode of the Linzito podcast. Today we are speaking to an independent candidate. His name is Blessings Ramoba. He's going to tell you about himself, why he's running, why you should vote for him and not the other guys. And yeah, so maybe on a more personal sort of level, we'll just ask him to introduce himself. Who's Blessings? Where does it come from? And yeah, just a short little bio about himself.
So before Blessings does that, can I also just mention that the aims of the podcast has been, is, and will always be to educate, to inform, and to inspire. And the series of interviews that we have been doing and the little shorties is exactly because of that. We want to educate you, we want to inform you about the alternatives that are out there. We all know about the big parties, the guys with the big budgets, but there are some independent candidates that are coming in, using their own monies, giving donations and so forth. So we want to bring the alternative option, because a lot of people are saying, if we don't vote for this one, who must we vote for? So we try to bring you the people so that they can explain to you what their views are, what the policies are that they're hoping to bring through. So please do subscribe on YouTube, follow Spotify, iTunes, and share with your family and friends and loved ones.
And Facebook.
And Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. But I think that's it. Let's give the platform over to our guest, Blessings Ramoba. Blessings, just on to what Akani said. Just give us a brief introduction. Who is Blessings? Where is he from? What does it stand for? Why should people vote for you?
Okay. Greetings to you guys, and thank you for inviting me. And my name is Blessings Ramoba, and I was born here in Gauteng, in Soweto, and at the age of 5 went back to Limpopo, and that's where my parents originated from. The place called Mamaila, or Sosese, is a district, but all of this is under Zami.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's basically where I was raised, and I started school there, primary and high school, up until I finished a matric. I went to University of Johannesburg to study mining engineering, and that's where my activism started. Later on, studied labor law, and which was a postgraduate diploma in labor law. But all that in the effort of learning and also improving myself, but also to understand the mining industry, as you like to know. That as you know, that it's a labor-intensive industry.
Okay.
I wanted to understand the dynamics of in the olden days, 2014 when Marikana strike.
Yes.
So I wanted to understand that not only the engineering side of mining, and which I later, I graduated UJ, and I went to the mining sector. I worked in the gold mines, and also later in the coal mines and so on. And formed the organization a year after, called the Mining Forum of South Africa. So the Mining Forum of South Africa is where my activism intensified in terms of my, being in public and dealing with issues of activism. The Mining Forum of South Africa, when I founded it in 2015, was to, I realized that mining companies operate in our communities, and they don't comply with the rules and regulations. It was a body as a lobby group to basically try by all means, to force mining companies to to comply.
So yes, my question is, Tzaneen, obviously it's rural, and you know there's a saying that says scarcity enhances creativity. So coming from a rural area where there's definitely a lack of what you find in urban areas, did you have this dream of going into the mining sector from your Tzaneen days, or did you want to be something else, or did you have other aspirations that changed as life goes? Because you mentioned moving between Soweto and Tzaneen, which would be between obviously the city and the rural areas. Did you always want to be involved in the mining areas? What is it that drove your creativity? Because having that privilege of being able to see two different worlds, you are different from the guy in Tzaneen who only knows Tzaneen, doesn't see the nice cars that you see when you come to Joburg, doesn't see that people can actually make it. Now we have the advantage of these both worlds. What did that do for you growing up as a child, and how did it shape your vision?
I did not grow up privileged, so I know poverty and I've lived one. As I said, I'm not from a privileged family. The area itself, I grew up in a 10 villages of people, where opportunities are available. It's not my only story, but of many South Africans. Yes. I would recall that during my time, when I was studying, it was sharing me some of the textbooks when I was doing my trip. Just not so long, 2008. I'm talking during the democracy. 2008, I was doing my matric, and I did not have all the textbooks, so we would share textbooks. But what motivated me much more is, once you are in poverty, you will want to come out of it. And it's one of the things that which motivated me to say, I want to change my life and the life of the community that which I live in. There are many even now in the community that we do not have water. There's no running water. Basically, there's no water, there's no source of water. To get water, you need to take a wheelbarrow. Go as far as you can to get, basic needs, which is water. I always wanted to be something. I didn't know what I wanted to be, or what I will achieve in life. But I knew education is the key to success. I knew education was a ladder to what I want to achieve, to be able to be informed and learn about, my surrounding and learn about my country. Being an engineer, my engineers, something that came along the way, of course, when you hear someone in the community was able to achieve this, and of course through this career guidance, and that's when you fall in love with the mind. You say, I think with this direction I can be able to achieve what I want to achieve in life, not knowing that the dream is bigger. There is more basically to what you have chosen. I thought that I was just going to work in the mining sector and go and work underground. Yeah. Like I did go work in the, gold mine. Yeah. I did work in the gold mines. Deep mines. Yeah. It's fun, it's nice, you're working. But I felt that there's more that I can do. That's when now I realized that, a lot of mining companies, we have got more wealth in this company, in this country, but we don't benefit much from our minerals, which I think that we need to start doing that, and that's one thing that which pushed me. But later on, for me, talking about me contesting election as a independent candidate, I'm very passionate. Those who know me, they know that I'm very, very passionate about employment of all South Africans, be it young people and everyone. I want to see young people being employed. I want to see South African revenue means, something that they do. And many of our South African people, young and old, they're idling, they're at home, unemployment. We are sitting about 52% amongst young people of unemployment. We now have between 32 and 40% in general of everyone. 18 million South Africans are dependent on grant out of 62 million. That's not sustainable. So we need to do something. And that's why I came forward. I've been championing the issue of employment for young people. And that's why I took this decision to actually contest as an independent candidate. I'm here, and I will be appearing on the ballot paper for the province of Limpopo and Gauteng. Only those two provinces, reason being, for the purpose of, or with the aim of getting a seat in Parliament, so that I can be able to champion, the policies that which I think that they can create employment in the country.
Okay, so when you were talking in your intro, you said that you're from Sekosese, and I have the privilege of having driven through the area, and in fact on my Facebook page I have an album just dedicated to that area, because it has, although it has some of the poorest roads I've ever driven through, it has the most beautiful houses. So people know that about Limpopo, that people are not about waiting for the government to do. The houses are just, and I think it's sort of like a good representation of the spirit of the people to say that despite this, situation, we're going to do the best for ourselves. So how would you say, where you grew up, how did that shape your vision of what could be done? Because on the one hand, you live in an area where the government doesn't do much, but the people is just on a...
Yeah, so this is the principle of our area, or the village that I come from. When a child is born, it's your child, but the child belongs to the community.
All right.
So it's basically
takes a visit to raise a child.
So I don't learn at home. I also learn from my neighbor.
Okay.
I learn from the elders in the community. Those communities are the ones that which make me in a way, and that's how we grow up. Looking up to older people in the community who also have done great things for themselves and for the community and so on. But I would like to believe, yes, I can confirm that's the place where I come from. People have learned to do things for themselves, and they are shining and very, very well. Although there's no roads, but they still do it in the deep villages of Limpopo. People are building houses for themselves and so on. But those are people that also inspires us to do great things. Inspires us to say that you can actually, regardless of where you come from, you can be whatever you want to be. Right? I studied mining engineering.
Yes.
I was able to create a career for myself. So I would like to say that not only me, but there are many people within my community with similar stories, like of myself, who have made it despite the challenges that which they come from. So I would like to believe that when a child is born, yes, it belongs to that. The child belongs to the community, and if you give your child to the community, you raise the child that way, you'll be able to understand that the principle of, it takes, you said it takes the village to raise a child. Yeah. So that's the principle that which I like to believe, and I think that's the way that which, as a South Africans from different communities, that's how we can make it in life.
Okay, so just in terms of your professional sort of path that you took, What did that look like for you? Did you just go straight from varsity, then from varsity you started working, or was there a time when you were not working, or how did that work for you?
While I was not working, I just resigned. So I was working.
Oh, okay.
So I just resigned and I went and founded the Mining Forum of South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And that is more 10 years back.
Sure. Okay.
Since then, I've been in the Mining Forum of South Africa. I've never went back to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think sometimes when you say something, it looks like a joke, but it becomes a reality.
Yeah.
When I was still at the university with my peers, they would say, I'm going to be a mine manager, and I said, I'm going to be a minister of minerals. But you don't know that you are speaking things that,
they're manifesting.
You are manifesting. Basically, you are taking yourself out of the industry to another level, to another side of the industry. And now I founded the Mining Forum of South Africa. But when I'm sitting down, I'm saying that I've been saying I'm going to be a minister. And which I think that, apart from, it benefiting myself, but I think that every founded the Mining Forum of South Africa, I've met the ministers since 2015 until now in the sector, the space, and also meeting them, sometimes telling them that this is not right, this is right. And I think that I've actually gained, experience and I know this industry very, very well. And I think sitting here, I can confidently say that I think I know ways to improve this sector and to make it better.
So here's a question, and obviously also being an entrepreneur and understanding the challenges and the journeys.
Yeah.
You mentioned the forum a lot, and for people who have never been in entrepreneurial space, for people who've never started up organizations, it might come across as, Blessings got money, started this forum. And a lot of people don't know that sometimes these type of initiatives, they don't bring in any money. In fact, they take money from you. And people are like, but why are you broke? And they don't understand that some of the things that you do, you're doing it out of passion, you're doing it for the bigger vision. And they just, because they heard big English words, they are expecting, Blessings must have thousands and thousands in his pocket. Have you, in fact, it's a bit of a personal question. Would you say that you made more money being employed in the mining industry than you did running the forum? Because what I'm trying to get is, I'm trying to see where your passion is. Because sometimes people see you wearing the suits, people see you speaking on platforms, and then they think that, this guy is loaded. But in the meantime, the guy is not even worried about money. His passion is just to get to the end goal. What has that journey been like since you resigned? Because when you resign, you're giving up money. And when you're starting something, there's no guarantee that tomorrow the money is going to come in. How have you been able to sustain yourself?
So initially the forum, we're taking donations from individuals. Another thing that the forum does is to promote businesses for black, meaning that the mining chart speaks about implementation of empowering black businesses, which that itself was not able in that time. But now there are many millionaires, black millionaires from the mining sector itself who are able to get businesses and they are opening up. But I think it's initiatives like ours where we make noise to say mining companies need to transform. They need to, give, also black people business to be able to procure some services and so on. Those we had membership, and those are the ones that we were able to contribute, up so far. But you also, so the main purpose of the forum, we have changed the lives of many South Africans in terms of businesses, opportunities in the mining sector. But I can tell you that sometimes you lose friends, you lose, even people you love because of the sacrifice that which you are making. When I started, it was like a joke.
Yeah.
And even your family members will say, "But like you are lazy to work." You understand? Like they say, lazy. This one is lazy. Just go and work. Now you are asking for money from me.
Yeah, but people always think.
Yeah, because they don't understand the vision that you have. You understand? And I do have a dream of one day to lead the Department of Mineral Resources, but I needed to equip myself to understand the dynamics of the department, because we are a stakeholder from NGO side, meaning that whatever is happening, we can be able to raise the correct. And you would understand, you would then realize that the department is not run in the proper way. There's more money we can make in this country towards our GDP from the mining sector. So there are sacrifices that which I made, and yeah. So, but you realize also the reason why I'm also contesting as an independent or contesting for a parliament, to be part of the parliament so that I can influence policy there. You start realizing that as an individual, just like everyone else, you say, there is a road that is not fixed there. Now making noise. That road, they don't fix it. Similar as the mining sector. You say to them that, we need to, change the laws. This law is not working. Say, this one is crazy. So, but if you are inside, you are able to influence policy, and that's why, we took this decision individually, so to actually come forward and contest the elections. Another thing, that we want to do, I don't know if you're going to ask that, but the current laws, there's more money that is living in the mining sector through tax illicit outflows. There's more money tax illicit outflows, meaning that companies, they report less. They produce one, for example, they can produce 1 million tons. Then they say, no, we produced only 20,000. Then you tax them based on that. Then the other money, the suffering somehow, and up until it reaches somewhere.
I guess that there is always going to be a problem when you have people benefiting who are not locals, when you have people benefiting who are not from South Africa, because they don't know.
They don't care. They don't care.
They want to take the money to where they come from.
They don't care. You understand? Another thing is the issue of beneficiation. It's one of the things that we've been talking to the department about. Beneficiation. Let's beneficiate at least 50% of our minerals. Let's create value. Let's create jobs. If you say 50% of the minerals, we bought one of the vast minerals and deposit in the world. Look at platinum, manganese, iron ore, all of this, everything you can think about. So meaning that we have the potential to create our own product, to create our own vehicle, and create jobs. You don't only when you beneficiate, then you're adding value, you're creating jobs. And it's one of the things that we talk about. They are not doing
so that no one gets left behind. What beneficiation means is, let me give an unrelated example. If you are a chicken farmer, if you have just a chicken, you're selling just a chicken, the person who beneficiates is the person who will say, no, I'm going to take the chicken and cut it up into pieces. And then the next level will be to say, no, I'm going to put spices and I'm going to dry it and do it in this particular way, so that along the chain, it becomes worth more. So
it's like more fun, more benefit out of it
before you sell it.
Just selling.
So instead of us selling raw chickens, which is just the iron ore, which is just the chrome ore or whatever, we should sell actual products like
the load chains and the rings.
Even all of this equipment that we're using came out of the ground somewhere. but the person who made the most money from it is not the person who dug it out of the ground, but the person who added value and turned it into a tripod or an arm, that type of thing. So the next question would be then to say, before we get into like the politics sort of side, just back on the forum, what would you say is the things that you believe that you have succeeded at the most, that you're most proud of, and you say these are the things you've been able to achieve as the mining forum?
We're able to mobilize the community across South Africa to know their rights.
Yes.
Some they just, they were even afraid to go close to these mining companies' doors.
Yes.
But we'll say organize a legal match, and I will come and lead you. Then they start. Now, if the mining companies are now begging begging communities to operate. They respect communities.
Okay.
And that started, since 2015 up until now. The mining companies, if there is one, if there are people that they must please first, is the community, because they know these communities can actually, close the roads, they can hire to operation and so on.
But they can stop them from getting the prospectus.
No, from even operating.
Yes.
Yeah, from operating. If I close the road, your trucks won't pass there. So now they understand. We've seen them, a lot of the people also banning buses and all of that.
Yeah.
Those are not, they're not allowed, but I don't encourage that. But if you are to protest, you must protest.
Yes.
So businesses, communities, small businesses in the communities, they are starting to procure services from the mines, from the mines in the local community and so on. So there is that improvements and so on. But I think also due to our activism, there is much knowledge in the community of South Africa in general about their rights, about also knowing about the industry. Like now I'm talking about the mining sector. So people are starting to understand, this sector, or this sector, this sector. To say this sector, you can also own your own mine.
Yes.
You can get the mining rights, prospecting rights.
Yes.
You can get mining permit. To own a mine is not associated, it's not attached to a color. Everyone can have, basically. You can have your own, but the capital is huge.
So now, and I love the fact that you try to bring the knowledge of the industry, which has been kept back from the people who should be benefiting the most.
Yeah.
So the people who are closest to the mine, the people who literally live on top of these minerals, don't know how to own these minerals.
Correct.
It's people from outside. So what I wanted to know from you and the forum, maybe you've started it or maybe it's in the pipeline. Do you have like a sort of a program where you go to schools and you equip the kids from mining towns or from mining villages with the knowledge to say, you know what, you don't need to run away from this area when you are done. There's opportunities here that is being held back from you. Do you have such a project in place?
Yeah, outreach and career guidance. We do that where we go schools individually. I took visiting schools and go in there and also encouraging them about good behaviors and so on, because I think that's the foundation. But also telling them about the industry and how to go about it. I think the forum also has assisted a lot of them to be absorbed also in the universities.
Yes.
Through application advice. There's also a lot of I have assisted a lot of people also to apply. Those who follow me, they will understand in terms of what I do in terms of application. I also assist. They will also call me, and then I take them through the application, how to go about. Many today have also graduated from university, having studied the mining engineering or mining survey or anything. Through that, those initiatives that we've done.
And in terms of retention, so there are obviously going to be those who benefit from the work that you do they come back and help the others benefit? Or
I don't know about that, but I can tell you that there are many people who graduated today. Those that went to one organization, I came back with 1,000 bursaries.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Yes.
how the reason why I'm asking that question is that because Blessings Ramoba start with a team of 5, and in that team of 5 helps 1,000 kids graduate from university. From those 1,000, are you comfortable enough or confident enough to say, at least from that 1,000, 10 came back and they are helping us, or 1,000 they ran one step in?
Not many ones, they are gone. They are gone. I would like to believe that we're going to serve others.
Yes.
I'm one person that I love to serve, right? I love to serve and to avail myself for the service of others. Whether they come back or not, I've done my part.
Okay. So you said something earlier about the mining sector not being very well run. So if you had an input into, I think it's MPRDA. So
Yeah.
I'm showing that I've been up in the
it's Mineral Petroleum Resource Development Act.
Yes. So that's the act that governs how and where and how we mine in South Africa.
Yeah.
So if you were to rewrite that piece of legislation, what would you take out of it? What would you put into it so that it works better?
I will add.
Okay.
It's a very good document.
All right.
Yeah, it's a very good. But implementation is bad.
Okay. Implementation
Is bad. I will add beneficiation.
Yes.
It just romances beneficiation.
Or it just passes by and gets
Romances,
it.
yeah. But it doesn't address it. I would. Yes. So I would, I would change that and say 50% of our minerals must be beneficiated.
Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you if we implement that, within 4 years or 3 years we'll have our own vehicle in South Africa.
Yes.
Right. If you look at other countries, developed countries, they've got their own vehicles.
Yes.
Look at India, has got its own vehicle, China, America, Europe, and Germany, Europe countries, Germany. So we South Africans are very far. In fact, by now we are supposed to be owning a vehicle from our own minerals.
Yes.
So basically, if we beneficiate it, not only that, even phones, we're supposed to manufacture phones. Now, all this equipment, comes from somewhere. We don't manufacture anything. We don't create anything. Things that are important to us, and things with a lot of money in terms of value add, and so I think that we need to change our laws so that we are able to, in terms of beneficiation. It's one thing that is actually I'm very passionate about, to make sure that we beneficiate our minerals in the country.
So from my side, and obviously from the knowledge that I've acquired and the things that I see on the ground, I would like to encourage yourself as well, included, and other young people, that yes, we need to change the laws, but we can change the laws to suit us. But if we don't implement it, then it becomes pointless. Because some of the laws already speak to the things that you're talking about, but because it does not benefit certain people, they are not implementing it.
Correct.
So I think, yes, that law that's receiving now, the MPRDA, you would add on to it, but I think in its existing form as well, you guys, the younger generation, need to come in and grab it to say, okay, you know what is already legislated, let us push that whilst adding on to it, because we also shouldn't make it a tick box exercise where we are just adding on and no one is implementing it. So my question then to you is, coming from the industry, being involved in the industry, how would you implement what is already there, and how would you be forced to implement what you think should be added on?
Implementation is very key. This is what we're going to do. Enforcement, right? Many companies know what is required of them, but they are not doing it. That's why if the enforcement was there, they wouldn't be mining for them of South Africa. So we came in to try to force these mining companies from a community point of view. Because now you would like to, maybe these politicians, many of them, they own shares in these mining companies. Then do you think that they will...
That they safeguarding the interest?
They won't even, make noise because they've got interest also. But then they are told, go and we're giving you these shares to protect our interest in that, you understand? So that's why they are very, arrogant in terms of the only people who know them and know how to put them in their place is the community. Because we just close the road and say, stop mining our minerals. Then we protest, even though you call the police. Tomorrow you'll find us in the morning. You'll find us 5 o'clock. We are burning tires. Oh, bring the police, but tomorrow again you'll find us there. Apparently you answer us. You understand? So we are doing it that way. But in terms of enforcement, but you drive across the mining community, you still see the roads are bad. You say that these guys are mining every day. And their trucks are passing there, but they're not fixing they're not fixing the road. And so what will we do? We'll just enforce. Or else we take, now the PRDA also speaks about, or mining charter, that if you don't comply, the license must be taken, must be revoked. Now, have you seen a mining company that you had that the license was revoked? You won't see that because they cannot take those licenses because they've got interest there. Some they are running businesses, but they are politicians and so on. So you understand, and I'm sitting here as the forum's president saying that revoke the license, revoke. Somewhere we took one company to court. We took one company to court because of non-compliance, and I won't say the name, but now when you look at the court papers, because remember you are taking this company to court, the minister's office must do what? Must they are cited, meaning that they must respond. Now, instead of defending us, to say this guy is true, this company is not implementing, and now they are saying that no, but they tried. You see,
there's a mining company that has a tagline: "We will mine safely or not at all." It's more like we should make it a new thing to say they must mine fairly or not at all. They must either comply or they must close down.
So, and now the Department of Mining, Minerals and Energy, on the papers, we read this, they are not with us.
They are busy defending.
Then I realized that no, this is we need to do this.
It's a big fight.
It's a big fight. We'll never take any.
And also the issue with a lot of these political things, especially where government, where you're challenging government or government processes, coming from a community or an individual.
From a community.
Yes, because now the tax monies that you pay to government, they're using the very same money to fight you. And the people who are making the decision, the money is not coming out of their pocket. So they have this pool of money that's just waiting there to frustrate you.
Yeah, because they will make it, a case that, they drag this case up until you're financially exhausted. And that's what they do. Asking for postponement.
Speaking about legal frameworks, what's your view on what people normally call zama or illegal mining, or other people who call it artisanal mining?
Artisanal mining.
Well, what's your view on that as a phenomenon?
I think we need to license those artisanal mining. license it, make it legal, so that we are able to collect or tax rate. Because if you don't do that, then we will continue having. If you have identified a place that this place has Amazonas, give it to someone legally. You understand what I'm saying? So meaning give it to small miners who are able to operate that legally. But I can tell you that one also is an immigration issue. A lot of illegal, illegal miners are not South Africans.
True.
And these are people without ID and without identity, and they are armed. So that I think that is just a criminal element. I wouldn't.
Okay.
So with the and you actually answered the question that I was about to ask.
Yeah.
So I want to rephrase it. With that being said, that there's a lot of thuggery and criminality, gangsterism involved in the artisanal mining space. And with us having most of our high employment comes from areas where they are miners, where the immediate community is not benefiting. How would you then, if you say, as a policy or as a policy maker, you'll be able to fight for the rights of mining communities, those high unemployment numbers, how would you then, I just want you to give us a process of how you would take the unemployed people from a certain community where there's illegal mining happening, and how would you formalize by training them, not necessarily depending on the illegal immigrants?
Okay, what happens is that with what we call reskilling and training, so the Mining Qualification Authority has got a responsibility to make sure that it trains communities in the way the mining companies are operating, making sure that they skill them so that they're able to do things for themselves, to be able to work, to also have what you call qualifications to be. It doesn't have to be mining. It can be, bricklaying, it can be, carpentry, it can be plumbing, it can be anything.
Any vocational.
Any. But more importantly, those, illegal mining that is happening in the communities where mining are operating, the only solution that the government has should have been given that opportunity to make sure that you give those small artisanal, miners and approve those applications, and then empower them somehow, maybe guidance, so that they're able to give them. Remember, you can give them a license, but they go and get machines to be able to mine and so on. They've actually implemented that in Kimberley. There was a lot of father of diamonds there. So what they did now is that they went to communities, they gave the old ladies, the old gogos also, they were also picking up those diamonds. Go to Kimberley. So now what they did is that they went and give them licenses to say pick this diamond, and then this is how you must sell. So meaning that they've got where they are taking these diamonds and be able to sell it, and then there is a given procedures. Correct. But it's been given to the money, because remember again, you are not allowed to be found with the precious metals like gold and diamonds without having a certificate for that. So they give them to someone who has got what you call a certificate, or even they can license their body if they are a group of people, a corporate type of, and then they are able to resell those minerals. But if you are talking about what you call coal is a different one that one, because it's not precious. You understand? It's not a precious metal. But the issue in the gold sector is more. There is a lot of criminality there.
A lot.
It's even scary, my friend. I can tell you. They even shoot back at the police. So what about me and you? You understand?
That is what
So what we need is that the department, we need to propose a unit for mining, police mining.
Like how we had a railway unit. Like
Yes. Let's have a mining police unit. This police, they don't focus on anything. They focus on mining illegals only. Make sure that everyone mines, properly. Make sure that there is accountability there. They are doing. We see the South African, police busy in Limpopo there with the what you call the chrome mining. Now they're mining behind the houses and so on. Beggarsford. They are trying to stop them. Let's just have a unit. And so I agree, in Parliament, that's one of the things that I'm going to propose. Let's say the police unit. That police unit is the one that which will respond to those criminals,
and they'll understand when those prospects is
correct, and they must have an element of SNDM a little bit so that they can meet their match.
Okay, so beyond the mining space, what other policies are you advocating for?
I'm advocating for policies that create employment, but so that's one of the things which is in the forefront of this campaign.
Okay.
Employment and how very, very important. I spoke about beneficiation, but you know that you cannot beneficiate in a country whereby there is no source of energy. We don't not have available energy currently.
Yes.
With the load shedding and all of that. There's a current government policy of renewables where they do the just transition. I don't know if you know that. Just energy transition, which speaks about eradicating the coal plants and ushering in the renewables. You know what we are doing? No country in the world has ever industrialized, right, with the renewables. Show me one country in the world that has ever industrialized with the renewables. None, right?
No, and it's funny you should say that, because when the paper on our energy mix was first released, that wasn't the idea. What they were saying is we are phasing in renewables to be alongside the non-renewable and have a proper energy mix. And then now all of a sudden we are deleting the one and replacing with the other. So instead of adding.
Yeah, is it because of the 8 billion?
The 10 billion rand, right? Now, funny enough again, those people who are giving us 10 billion to get rid of the coal plants, they are now buying our coal, and their demand is increasing. Isn't that, really? Yeah, so now, I'm sorry. So now, look at this. We're busy destroying our coal plants.
Yes.
What we were supposed to have done, we're supposed to increase the life, maybe do maintenance, revive them, extend the life of those power stations, while we're also building the nuclear plants, maybe, maybe 2 more. We already have one, the Quebec one. Maybe build 2 more. Usher in the renewables, it's not a problem, but don't usher them while we are destroyed, because the renewables works during the day, some of them. The solar works during the day. At night is not working. So no country in the world has ever, we cannot, industrialize. For us to be able to have jobs, to create more jobs, and to have industries, to be able to build like us in this country, you will need, a reliable energy source. And what is needed here? Let's deal with the energy. Alright? Once we are done with the energy, now let's talk about industrialization. That's where industrialization is gonna come in. And you wanted to say something?
Yeah. So I wanted to say it's similar. The whole solar or renewable narrative is similar to a hybrid car. You have your base, which you can rely on. Then you have the nice to have, because it's not always going to be there. So I completely agree that these things can work together, because once you remove the one, it means that you are making people who are employed unemployed. and then you bring in a few opportunities for the new one, whereas you keep the unemployed, you keep the employed, and you just add on, because those are also natural resources. If you go to UK, they don't have the sun like we have it. So that when we do have the sun, we have a few of our